loaded, nobody out, and didn't score. And a couple of really defensive gems by George Washington, one by Ballard, the second baseman, and then a tremendous play by Holly, the third baseman for George Washington. As I mentioned last night in the games, not just last night, but in the games that George Washington played yesterday, which they played 2 games, if you hit the ball to third base to that young lady, Holly, Passion Holly, you're going to be out, because she has really been very good at that position and made a nice play, and they get out of the inning. So Cabell Midland had the bases loaded and nobody out, and they don't score. And now let's see if that will give George Washington some momentum, as it'll be Atkins, Barton, and Holly, the first 3 hitters, due up here in the home half of the first inning for George Washington.
Leading off for George Washington, the pitcher, number 27.
So Atkins leads things off, the George Washington pitcher. And here's the first pitch to her, and that's swung on and fouled back 0-1. Watts on the mound for Cabell Midland. So 0-1 the count to Atkins. It's Atkins, the pitcher, Barton, the right fielder, and Holly, the third baseman. The first 3 hitters due up for George Washington here in the bottom half of the first inning. And the pitch misses off the plate. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1-1 the count to Atkins. And the 1-1 delivery. Swung on. This ball is going to be hit to the third baseman. Nice play, and Atkins is done. So 1 up, 1 down. That's a nice play by Harris, able to scoop that up and make the throw across the diamond over to Bell for the first out for George Washington. So 1 up, 1 down. And that will bring Barton to the plate.
21, Tyler Barton.
So Tylee Barton will be the hitter.
Correction, Tyler Barton.
And the pitch. And that's over for a called strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 delivery. It's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Watts able to make the play. The ball was really bunted a little too hard, and that's a very easy play for the second out of the inning. Watts able to make the play. A little toss over to Bell. 2 up, 2 down. And it'll be Passion Holly will be the hitter. She made that nice defensive play at the top half of this inning, catching a line drive and then being able to tag the runner at third for the double play to get out of the bases loaded jam. So Holly will bat with 2 out, nobody on. Takes a big cut and misses 0-1. This is an elimination game. And for the winner of this game, they will advance to the championship round, but will have to beat John Marshall twice. This pitch is swung on, popped up into shallow left, coming in as the left fielder to make the catch to end the inning. Nice job by Purdue. 3 up, 3 down for George Washington the first. After 1, no score between Cabell Midland and George Washington. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State High School softball tournament on Video Productions.
George Washington, there was 0 runs on 0 hits and 0 errors.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
Back to the Rock here at South Charleston, West Virginia. I'm Maris Lowry here for the 2023 Girls State High School Softball Tournament. Glad you're with us, streaming live here on Video Productions. We're going to the top of the second inning. It'll be Hale, Harris, and McCormill will be the first three hitters for Cabell Midland in the top of the second. No score. As in that first inning, Cabell Midland had the bases loaded and nobody out and didn't score. And a couple of nice defensive plays, one by Ballard and one by Holly for George Washington to help get the Lady Patriots out of that inning with no runs scored by Cabell Midland. 1 ball, no strike to count to Hale, and here comes the 1-0. Swung on. This is right back up the middle. It's going to get through a base hit. So that's the third hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland. And that's a leadoff single, and for the second time in as many innings here in the second inning. And that's the leadoff hitter is aboard for the Lady Knights. And now it'll be Nicole Harris will now be the hitter.
Third baseman number 0, Nicole Harris.
So Harris steps into the dish. And the pitch. That'll miss for ball 1. Once again, this is an elimination game, and the winner will advance to the championship round and would have to beat John Marshall twice. So 1 ball, no strikes to Nicole Harris, and here comes the 1-0. And that'll miss outside. The runner attempts the steal, is in safe. So that's a stolen base as Hale gets down and gets to second. So now with no out, another runner in scoring position. So as I mentioned back in the first inning, Cabell Midland had the bases loaded, nobody out, and didn't score. And now they're in position to perhaps take the first lead of the ball game as they have a runner at second with nobody out here in inning number 2. And here comes the 2-0 delivery. And that hit the batter. That hit Hale. So now, once again, George Washington digging themselves a hole as, not Hale, but Harris, rather. Harris gets hit by the pitch.
The left fielder, number 21, Ellie McCormill.
And that'll put runners at first and second, nobody out, as McCormill will now, the right fielder, will step to the dish for Cabell Midland. You know, George Washington fortunate to get out of it last inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, but you keep putting runners on less than 2 outs, eventually it's going to catch up with you. And here's the pitch. That's over, called strike 0-1. Both teams wearing dark uniforms. You would have thought that maybe they would have one team wear white. Of course, Cabell Midland does have the white pinstripes in their uniforms. And here comes the 0-1 delivery. Runners go, the throw to third, and out. And that's one thing, you never want to make the first out at third or home, and maybe Cabell Midland perhaps run themselves out of an inning as Hale's caught stealing for the first out of the inning. Harris goes down to second, and that's a huge out. So last inning, the first out was made at home because of the force with the bases loaded, and now in this inning, the first out is made at third. And like I said, baseball, softball, you never want to make the first or last out at third or at home. And that's been the case for these 2 innings for Cabell Midland. This pitch will miss. The count will go to 1-2. So 1-2 the count to McCormill, the number 8 hitter in the Cabell Midland lineup. Runner at second with 1 out. Atkins ready. And the 1-2. That'll miss inside, and that'll count. Will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Atkins ready, rocks, and deals the 2-2. That swung on, that's chopped foul down the third baseline. Count will hold. We'll do it again at 2-2. And the 2-2. Swung on. The ball's hit to the right side. The runner will advance over to third, but they will record the out. And I'm sure if you're George Washington, you'll trade the out. It doesn't matter to have the runner advance. So that's the second out of the inning. And with 2 outs and a runner at third, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Sabrina Rose, will now be the hitter for Cabell Midland. So George Washington's been fortunate. They've gotten out of some jams, and let's see if they can get out of this one. They got out of a bases-loaded jam and nobody out in the first inning. And Cabell Midland had a runner at second, and actually had first and second, nobody out. And perhaps they may have ran themselves out of the inning by making the first out at third on a steal attempt. We'll see how it plays out. 1-0 the count to Rose. And here comes the 1-0 delivery. And that'll miss, and it's 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to the Cabell Midland catcher, Sabrina Rose. And the pitch. And that'll miss, and the count will go to 3-0. So 3-0 the count. This is the number 9 hitter in the lineup, and I'm sure Rose will be taking all the way here, you would think, at 3-0, with a chance to get back to the top of the order. Rose squares like she's going to bunt, and she pulls back, and it's a called strike. Count goes to 3-1. So 3-1 the count. And Atkins is ready and set to deliver the 3-1 pitch. And that'll be ball 4. So that's the number 9 hitter in the lineup, and she's drawn a base on ball. So runners at the corners with 2 out, and we'll go back to the top of the order. And it'll be Addison Purdue. Purdue drew a base on ball back in the first inning. And then she was forced out at the plate when the ball was hitting the infield with the bases loaded. So she has an opportunity to see if Cabell Midland can strike first. And the pitch. And that misses. The runner takes off to second. So now they got ducks on the pond with the runners at third and second. And 2 down. 1-0 the count to Purdue. And the pitch. Swung on. Here's a drive to right field. Going back, it's over the right fielder's head. It'll go up against the wall. That'll score 2. And rounding second and going for a stand-up triple is Purdue. And Cabell Midland strikes with a 2-out. 2-run triple by Purdue, and it's 2-0 Cabell Midland. So the Lady Knights strike with a big 2-out hit. And that'll be the 4th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland, and they take a 2-0 lead here in the second. As Conrad will now be the hitter. She's 1-for-1, got a hit her last time up, and she gets another hit and delivers an RBI single with a base hit to left field. That's the 5th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland, and that will bring across their 3rd run, and Cabell Midland now takes a 3-0 lead.
Center fielder number 20, Caitlin Wallace.
5 hits for the game, 3 hits in this inning, and Cabell Midland has struck to put up a 3 spot thus far, and now it'll be Wallace. She got a hit her first time up. She's 1-for-1. And the pitch will miss, actually, beg your pardon, over for a called strike. So 0-1 the count to Wallace. Cabell Midland a 3 spot here in the second inning. And back in the first, they left the base. They had the bases loaded, no out, and didn't score. And here's another hit down the line. It'll get all the way to the corner down to left field. That should plate another run, and it will. And coming into third will be another triple. Wallace with her second hit and an RBI triple and another run. And Cabell Midland has her hitting shoes on. Their 6th hit of the ball game. They're 4th in this inning, and they take a 4-0 lead. So Cabell Midland has opened up the floodgates, and now George Washington is going to have a visit at the mound, and this might be it for Adkins. She struggled last night in their loss to John Marshall, and she struggled here through 2 innings thus far. And looks like we might have a pitching change. So we're going to go ahead and take a break while we do have a pitching change. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament, streaming on Video Productions.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
There's a called strike. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch. 2-1 the count. And the 2-1 swung on. This ball was hit into right field. Coming in as the right fielder, got to play on the ball and makes the catch to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. That was a nice play by the right fielder of Cabell Midland. At the end of 2, it's Cabell Midland 4, George Washington nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Runs, 0 hits, and 0 errors. After 2 innings of play, the score is Cabell Midland 4.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The health plan is a proud partner with the West Virginia SSAC and has been your most trusted.
And we're back here at the Rock, Little Creek Park here in South Charleston. I'm Maris Lowry as we're going to the 3rd inning, and Cabell Midland in front of George Washington 4-0. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Lady Knights. And it will be the number 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. Tatum, Hell, and Harris for Cabell Midland here in the top half of inning number 3. So Tatum will step to the dish. She hit into a double play her first at bat. Want to know the count to Maggie Tatum. And Ballard in relief of Atkins on the mound for George Washington. Ballard ready. And here comes the 1-0. Swung on, that ball is hit foul down the first baseline. The count will even at 1-1.
I guess I should have said that. Number 32 for George Washington, now back. Right, who's pitch?
So 1-1 the count. And here comes the 1-1 pitch to Tatum. Swung on, and that ball's going to be knocked down. And will there be time? No, it's going to be an infield hit. Thought for a minute, that it was a good job to keep the ball from going into the outfield, but not able to get Tatum, and that will be an infield hit. And that'll be the 7th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland.
You say that's Ballard on the mound for GW? Yes, sir. Doing the pitching now for George Washington is Ballard.
So Hale will now be the hitter. So Hale will come to the dish. So far Cabell Midland with 4 runs on 7 hits. And Hale got a hit. Her first time up, she's 1 for 1.
Now batting second base, number 3, Destiny Hale.
And she takes a called strike, 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Hale. And the 0-1 delivery. And that'll miss, and the count will even at 1-1. And here comes the 1-1. Swung on. That ball's hit to Holly at third. She'll make the throw to second to get the lead runner, but they will not be able to turn two, but they do get the lead runner, so that'll be a fielder's choice for Hale, and that's the first out of the inning. So Holly, a really good play, and she's played really well defensively in this tournament for George Washington. So Harris will now be the hitter. She was hit by a pitch and scored back in that 4-run second inning for Cabell Midland. And she'll bat with a runner on and one out. So 4 runs on 7 hits thus far for Cabell Midland. As the ball's hit to the shortstop, they'll go to the bag for one, over to first, not in time. They get the lead runner, but Harris able to beat it out. So it'll be 2 outs now. And it'll be McCormill will now be the hitter.
Left fielder number 21, Ellie McCormill.
So 2 out, runner at first. And the number 8 hitter in the Cabell Midland lineup, Ellie Cormill, will now be the batter. And ball 1.
As a reminder, fans, please return all foul balls to the canopies, south-cross and canopies in between the fields. All foul balls, please return to the south-cross and canopies in between
and the
fields.
pitch. Runner takes off for second. The throw, short hops, and a nice job to back it up by Atkins. But that's a stolen base and a runner in scoring position. So 2 balls and no strikes to count to the batter, McCormill. And a runner at second, 2 down. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, and a 4-0 Cabell Midland lead, trying to add to that lead. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball was hit right through, out into right field. The runner will round third, will come to the plate, and that's another Cabell Midland run as McCormill delivers, and she goes to second on the throw. So that will be the 5th run and the 8th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland, and they've extended the lead now to 5-0. So an RBI single by Ellie McCormill. And now it'll be Rose will be the batter. She drew a walk and scored back in the 2nd inning. So 5-0 Cabell Midland lead. And the pitch will be a called strike 0-1. And, you know, another thing, too, you think a 5-0 lead. They got 4 in the 2nd. They've added 1 here in the 3rd. And in the 1st inning, they had the bases loaded and nobody out and didn't score. They easily could possibly you could make a case that Cabell Midland could be up in this game 10-11-0 by now, the way things have unfolded to this point. Swung on. This ball's a little chopper. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop. She is able to make the play and get the out. But another run scores for Cabell Midland. Middle of the 3rd. It's Cabell Midland 5, George Washington 0. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
At the inning, there was 1 run on 2 hits.
Wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
Be the hitter.
Ava Sittler is now batting.
And it'll be ball 1 to Sittler. And she squares to bunt. Takes ball 2, 2-0. And the 2-0 pitch. And that'll miss for ball 3, 3-0.
Reminder to our fans, please stay clear of any and all of the scaffolding that the TV crew is using. Please stay clear of the scaffolding. Thank you.
Here comes the 3-0 offering. And that'll be a called strike. It goes to 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch is over for a called strike. The count goes full to 3-2. So a full count to Ava Sittler, the George Washington catcher. 1 out, nobody on here in the home half of the 3rd inning. And here comes the payoff pitch. That's swung on. There's a drive to right center field going back. They're not going to get it. That's the first hit of the ball game for George Washington, as Sittler will have a stand-up double as she hit the gap in right center field. And the first hit of the ball game for George Washington. So, well, George Washington needed something, a little momentum, and let's see if Sittler's double will give him that momentum. So a 1-out double. And now Kelly will now be the hitter.
Now batting is shortstop number 3, Addie Kelly.
Here's Addie Kelly at the dish and the pitch. And that's a called strike, 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Kelly, the number 9 hitter in the George Washington lineup. And the 0-1 pitch. Squares to bunt, lays it down, and that's going to be right through the legs. That's going to be an error on Cabell Midland, as that ball went right through the legs of the 3rd baseman, Harris. And that'll be the first error of the ball game. And now George Washington's got something cooking, as they have runners at the corners and only 1 out, and back to the top of the order. And Adkins will be the hitter. Adkins 0 for 1, grounded out to 3rd, her first at bat. So George Washington trying to get back in it and trailing 5-0. And Cabell Midland has a little meeting at the mound, and when you got a lead, you don't want to open the door. You don't want to even crack it a little bit, but if you start making plays, or you don't make the plays, you make an error like that, the ball went right between the legs of the 3rd baseman, and that could open things up. So George Washington trying to get a little momentum, as they got a runner on with a hit and runner on with an error, with the E on the 3rd baseman. And runners now at the corners with just 1 out.
Second baseman, number 27, Alexis Adkins.
So Adkins, who started the ball game on the mound and then was relieved by Ballard. Her and Ballard flip-flop. Ballard on the mound, now Adkins at second base. Adkins will now be the hitter. She squares to bunt, pulls back. Runner takes off for second, and she'll be in successfully. And here comes the runner from 3rd home. The throw, safe. And George Washington's on the board. So George Washington able to manufacture a run, and they get on the board, and they cut the Cabell Midland lead now to 5-1. And Kelly also able to go to 3rd. That'll be an error there on the throw. That's the 2nd error of the inning for Cabell Midland. So a runner at third, one out, a run in. And George Washington has cut the lead to 5-1. Here's a hit. Nice job by the third baseman. The throw to the plate, not in time. That's the only play that the third baseman Harris had. It was a nice stop, but not able to get Kelly, who slides under the tag, and that's the second George Washington run. That'll be a fielder's choice for Adkins. So 2 runs have crossed the dish here for George Washington in the third inning, and they're trying to get back in the game, and they've gotten a little momentum, and they've cut the lead now to 5-2. Barton will now be the hitter. So still just 1 out, and the pitch to Barton, and that'll miss for ball 1. So after the first 7 batters were retired, George Washington has woke up, and they've got their crowd into the ball game, and they've scored a couple of runs here in the third inning. I'm not sure what we got here. There's something the George Washington coaches are talking about. I don't see that there was a runner at first, or should have been, and I'm not sure what they've called. I'm not sure what they called on that, because you had a runner that hit the ball that made it safely when the throw came, and we don't have an explanation to that. So I don't know what happened there, as this ball was hit down the right field line, and there's a catch being made in foul ground. That's a tremendous play in right field by McCormick, and that will end the inning. So there was a phantom out in there somewhere, but George Washington scores a couple runs in the bottom of the third inning. After 3, it's 5-2 in favor of Cabell Midland. Watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
On 1 hit, there was 2 Cabell Midland errors.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. 18,250 days of fueling and feeding. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. The managers who open early and close late. The cashiers who always have a smile. The bakers, sandwich artists, and cooks who keep our cravings at bay. The maintenance crew who work hard to fix problems as they arise. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
Passion Holly?
We're back to live action. As Purdue will lead things off for Cabell Midland. During that commercial break, finally got an exclamation or explanation from the umpire that they said that the reason the girl from George Washington was out, but she left early. This ball was hit foul down the left field line, Purdue. Count evens at 1-1. 5-2 the lead for Cabell Midland here in the fourth inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, and a couple errors for Cabell Midland. 2 runs a hit, no errors for George Washington. And here's a solid hit to right center field. That ball will get down. It'll roll all the way to the wall. That's at least a double, rounding second and heading for three, and a stand-up triple for Purdue, her second hit of the ball game. And that'll be the 9th hit of the game for Cabell Midland.
Shortstop, number 28, Rebecca Conrad.
In softball, that's what that circle's for. And once the pitcher gets in the circle, if you're off the base, you've got a split second, make up your mind which way you're going to go.
She probably didn't go back.
So she didn't go back in time.
Conrad will now be the hitter. She's 2 for 2, scored a run. And the pitch swung on, and that's hit foul down the right field line, 0-1. We're in the top half of the 4th inning. Cabell Midland got 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. George Washington answered with 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd. We're now here in the top half of the 4th inning. Runner at 3rd, nobody out. Pitch, squares the bunt, lays it down. The play will be at first. They'll get the runner there. Now they'll throw it home and not in time. The safety squeeze, and that will get another run for Cabell Midland as Purdue will score for the 2nd time and take the lead now to 6-2. So it'll be Wallace will now be the hitter. Wallace is 2 for 2, a single in the 1st and a triple in the 2nd.
Center fielder number 20, Caitlin
So 6-2 now is the lead for Cabell Midland. 6 runs on 9 hits. And the pitch to Wallace. Swung on, the ball's hit right to Holly at 3rd. Had her played perfectly, crossed the diamond for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 down, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter Olivia Bell. Bell 0 for 2.
baseman number 8, Olivia Bell.
Bell digs in. And here's the pitch. Called strike 0-1. So Cabell Midland, they've had base runners in every inning. In fact, scoring 4 in the 2nd, 1 already here. They got 1 in the 3rd, 1 already here in the 4th, and they had the bases loaded in the 1st inning with nobody out and didn't score. As this ball gets past the catcher. So considering everything that's happened to this point, the fact that Cabell Midland already has 6 runs and they had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 1st inning, they easily could have had 10, 11, 12 runs by now. But they're up 6-2 in the 4th. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike to Olivia Bell, and the 1-1 offering on its way. And that'll miss for ball 2, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Olivia Bell. If Bell can keep the inning alive, Maggie Tatum would hit next. And the pitch swung on and missed. The count evens to 2-2. And here comes the 2-2. Swung on, the ball hit to the 2nd baseman. Flip it over to the 1st to end the inning, but Cabell Midland gets another run, middle of the 4th inning. Your new score, 6-2 in favor of Cabell Midland over George Washington. You're watching live streaming coverage for the 2023 Girls State High School Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston, West Virginia. I'm Maris Lowry here at Little Creek Park at the Rock, and we've got a good one. 6-2 is the lead in the bottom of the fourth inning for Cabell Midland. They got 4 in the second. They've got a run in each the third and fourth innings, and George Washington put 2 across the last inning in the third. So it will be the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for George Washington here in the home half of the fourth inning. And it will be Holly to lead things off. Holly 0 for 1 in the ball game. She's been good at the plate, but she's been really good in the field. And the pitch will miss for ball 1. 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for Cabell Midland. 2 runs, a hit, no errors for George Washington. And the pitch swung on. This ball is skied up in the infield. The pitcher's going to call for it and make the catch. Usually the pitcher doesn't make the catch. She gets out of the way, but this time Watt's like, I got this, and she does. And Holly is retired. So there's 1 out. And Tomlin will now be the hitter. She was a strikeout victim back in the second inning.
But fielder number 1, Matt Tomlin.
So Tomlin will hit with 1 out, nobody on.
Reminder, folks, to visit our concession stands downstairs. Plenty of hot food, cold drinks, candy, snacks. Get your belly full, quench your thirst. Make sure you visit our concession stands. It will help the youth local sports here in South Charleston Little League. Thank you.
And here comes the 1-0. Swung on and fouled out of play. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. And that will miss for ball 2. 2-1 the count. And the 2-1 offering. And that'll miss for ball 3. The count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Nat Tomlin with 1 out, nobody aboard here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. And a 6-2 Cabell Midland lead. And the pitch. And that'll be ball 4. So there's a 1-out walk. And Tomlin is aboard. And Armstrong will now be the hitter. She was a strikeout victim back in the second inning.
Center fielder number 22, Addie Armstrong.
And the pitch is fouled back. Count goes to 0-1. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball is hit foul down the right field line, back out of play. Where that ball was hit, good thing I didn't park in that area. because that's where a lot of foul balls have gone over these between yesterday and into the fourth inning of this game here this morning. And the pitch swung on. That's a base hit into left field. So George Washington's got something cooking after one out. They got a base on ball and now a solid hit to left. That's the second hit of the ball game for George Washington, and now they got 2 on with 1 out. And Wade will be the hitter.
First baseman number 13, Caroline Wade.
And here's the pitch to Wade, and that will miss for ball 1. So George Washington down 4 runs, but got a couple of runners on with only 1 out, trying to get back into the ball game. Their crowd coming alive. And this will miss for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. 2 on and 1 out. And now Cabell Midland want to have a meeting on the mound to discuss some strategy here.
Yeah, you don't see that call very often because it's a close.
Well, he's had to see because there's 4 umpires out there, so they saw something we didn't see. I just can't see third base from here.
So now the home plate umpire will go out to the mound and break up the conversation.
You'll never see it from the home plate umpire. You'll see it from
So
the base.
2-0 to Wade with 2 on and 1 out. And here comes the pitch. And that'll miss for ball 3. So 3-0 the count. Thomas waits to hit next. Wade back in the batter's box. 3-0 the count. 1 down, 2 on. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. And that will be a called strike, 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to the George Washington first baseman, Wade. And the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. The count's full at 3-2. So we got the payoff pitch coming to Wade for George Washington. And here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on. This ball's hit to center field. Center field. Nice play to make the catch. That was a tremendous play by Wallace. As Wallace at first of all looked like the ball was going to go over her head. She was able to take a couple of steps back as that ball was hit hard by Wade for the second out of the inning. So 2 out and still 2 on, and Thomas will now be the hitter. That was a nice defensive play by Wallace in center field. Thomas was a strikeout victim back in the 3rd inning. She's 0 for 1 in the ball game, and she'll hit with 2 on and 2 out. Here in the 4th, and a 4-run lead for Cabell Midland at 6-2. Big cut, 0-1. And here comes the 0-1 delivery. Swung on and fouled back out of play, once again off to the right. But no question that the majority of the foul balls hit in this AAA have been off to the right down the right field line behind the first base dugout. Like I said, it's a good thing that's not where I parked. So at least I think my car is safe, at least for now. All right, here comes the 0-2 pitch, and that will miss. Here's a throw down to first, and they got her. They picked her off at first, and that will end the inning. What a nice job by Rose, the catcher, to pick off the base runner at first, and that's how the George Washington fourth inning will end. At the end of 4, your score is Cabell Midland 6, George Washington 2, watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
That half of the inning for George Washington, there were 0 runs on 1 hit, and there was no catch.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston as we're headed to the 5th inning. What has turned out to be quite an exciting game. And right now, if you're Cabell Midland, a little bit more exciting for your side because you're ahead at 6-2. As Cabell Midland will come to the dish here in the 5th inning.
The batter for Cabell Midland, designated hitter number 22, Maggie Tatum.
And Tatum will lead things off for the Lady Knights. It'll be Tatum, Hale, and Harris. 5, 6, and 7 due up here in the top of the 5th inning with a 4-run lead for Cabell Midland. And here's the pitch. And that'll be ball 1. Actually, they've changed a player on us. It's not Tatum. We'll have to figure out who that is. Imagine that. They don't tell us.
What's your first name?
So Chapman is into the ball game. And there's a called strike.
The batter number 23, Haley Chapman.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. And the 1-2 offering swung on and missed, strike 3. So Chapman is the first out of the Cabell Midland 5th inning. And Hale will now be the hitter.
Second baseman number 3, Destiny Hale.
And the pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-1 to Hale. 6 runs, 9 hits, a couple errors for Cabell Midland. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for George Washington. Cabell Midland is threatened in every inning. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the first and didn't score, but they got 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Swung on, this ball's hit to Holly, and like I said, you hit the ball to that young lady, a Passion Holly, you're going to be out. And that's the case right here. So Hale hits it to Holly, and she's in the dugout with the second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down, and Harris will come to the dish.
Number 0, Nicole Harris.
Harris wears 00. I guess the most A couple of famous double zeros from the NFL. Jim Otto, the center for the Oakland Raiders back in the day. And then, of course, the Chief, Robert Parrish of the great Celtic teams, wore double zero. So 1-0 the count to Harris. And here comes the 1-0 delivery. Swung on, a comebacker off the glove. That's going to be through for a base hit into center field. That'll be the 10th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland. And Harris, she's been on base all 3 times. And she scored a couple of runs.
Left fielder number 21, Ellie McCormill.
McCormill will now be the hitter. She's 1 for 2, got a hit, an RBI. This ball will get past the catcher. That will allow the runner to advance down to second. So once again, Cabell Midland, they've had people in scoring position pretty much this entire game. Like I said, the only inning they didn't score was in the first inning, and they had the bases loaded, nobody out. But they've scored every inning since then. 4 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And with 2 outs, they got a runner in scoring position now. And the pitch. Swung on. That ball's hit to the shortstop. Shortstop will take its time, make the throw across the diamond to end the inning. That was a nice play that time by Kelly. So we're in the middle of the 5th inning. Your score holds 6-2 in favor of Cabell Midland over George Washington. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Cabell Midland, there were 0 runs on 1 hit. There was 0 George Washington errors.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston as we head to the bottom half of inning number 5. A 4-run lead for Cabell Midland, leading George Washington 6-2. It'll be the bottom third of the lineup for George Washington. Number 7, 8, 9 hitters. It'll be Thomas, Sittler, and Kelly due up for the Lady Patriots. Glad you're with us, streaming live here on Video Productions. It's a beautiful morning, 65 degrees with a little breeze here in South Charleston. Here at the Rock, as they call it, at Little Creek Park here in South Charleston, West Virginia. 0-1 the count to Thomas. Yeah, the 0-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. The count goes to 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So that was good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 pitches, and Thomas is out. And it'll be Sittler will be the hitter. She got it doubled and scored one of the 2 runs for George Washington back in the 3rd inning.
The catcher, number 8, Ava Sittler.
So Sittler will bat with 1 out, nobody aboard. The loser is eliminated. The winner of this game will be in the championship round, but the winner of this game is going to have to beat John Marshall twice. It's called strike 0-1 to Sittler. Cabell Midland last won the title in 2021. Their first girls softball title came in 1995. Squares to bunt, and the bunt is going to be fair right to the first baseman, and there's an out. So that was a nice play there by Bell. Ball hit right to her, and that's the second out of the inning. And with 2 out, nobody on, it'll be the number 9 hitter. Kelly will be the batter. She reached on an error and scored back in the 3rd inning.
The shortstop, number 3, Addie Kelly.
So Addie Kelly to the dish. 2 out, nobody aboard here in the 5th inning. Ball 1. Had great weather here in South Charleston these 2 days for this 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament. And there's pitch swung on and missed. Count evens at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody aboard. Bottom of the 5th, a 6-2 Cabell Midland lead in this elimination game. 2-1 the count. John Marshall just sitting by as they will take on the winner. And John Marshall knows the winner of this game has to beat them twice. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. Count evens at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. That's a base hit into center field. 3rd hit of the ball game for George Washington. That's a 2-out single by Kelly. And we'll go back to the top of the order with Atkins.
Second baseman, number 27, Alexis Atkins.
So Atkins 0 for 2. Yeah, she hits now here in the 5th inning. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball is hit to the shortstop. Big hop. They'll go for the force. They'll get it at second to end the inning. And that's how the 5th inning for George Washington will end at the end of 5. 6-2 is the lead in favor of Cabell Midland. You're watching live streaming coverage of the girls' high school softball tournament on Video Productions.
At half the inning.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston. Barris Lowry as we head to the 6th inning. It'll be the number 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order with 1 and 2 due up for Cabell Midland. It'll be Rose, Purdue, and Conrad, the scheduled 3 hitters for Cabell Midland in this 6th inning. 6-2 lead for the Lady Knights of Cabell Midland from Ona, West Virginia. down the road, about 45 minutes. George Washington just right over the ridge, about 10 minutes away. So this is an elimination game. The winner will advance to the championship round and will have to beat John Marshall twice. This ball is slapped foul, out of play. It counts 1 ball and 1 strike to Sabrina Rose. Rose that drew a base on ball in the second and scored. And she grounded out back in the third. She's 0 for 1 with a run scored. And ready for the 1-1 delivery. And here it is. And that'll miss for ball 2, 2-1 the count. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Sabrina Rose. Of course, Rose is her last name, great baseball name. Yeah, swung on and missed 2-2. Told a story about Pete Rose last night. And when Pete Rose's son was playing in the minor leagues, his son went through an 0 for 23 streak. So the manager of the team said, well, since your dad is the all-time leader in hits, maybe you should talk to him about what to do when you're going through this slump, 0 for 23. So Pete Rose's son said that's a good idea. He goes to his dad and asks for his advice, and his dad said, how in the heck would I know anything? I never went 0 for 23 in my life. I wouldn't know anything about that, as this next pitch is high, 3-2. Hope you found the humor in that, ladies and gentlemen. But that, not knowing Pete Rose personally, but seeing I've met Pete Rose a couple of times, but that would seem like the type of answer, and I did clean that up for what Pete Rose actually said. So anyway, it counts full to Sabrina Rose, and here comes the payoff pitch, and that's smacked down the first baseline. That'll be foul. And the count will hold at 3-2. So full count to Sabrina Rose, leading things off for Cabell Midland here in the 6th inning. The number 9 hitter, then we'll be back to the top of the order with Purdue and then Conrad, the number 2 hitter. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on this ball. It's a fly ball into the air. Center fielder giving chase, and what a great catch out there in center field. Armstrong, for a minute, it looked like the ball was going to be overhead, and Armstrong able to reach out and haul it in and rob Rose of a hit. A tremendous play by the center fielder for George Washington. So there's the first out of the Cabell Midland 6th, and Purdue will now be the hitter. Purdue's been busy. She's been on base all 3 times and scored twice. Got a couple of hits. She's 2 for 2 with a base on ball, and as I mentioned, 2 runs scored. And the first pitch will miss for ball 1. And here comes the 0-1 delivery. And that ball will bounce to the plate for ball 2. That ball hit about 5 feet, 6 feet in front of the plate. And the pitch. Squares to bunt, lays it down. Will she beat it out? She will not. And that's the second out of the inning. Purdue is retired. So 2 up, 2 down, and Conrad will be the hitter. Conrad's 2 of 3 with a run scored.
Rebecca Conrad.
Conrad got a hit in the first, got a hit in the second and scored, and had a fielder's choice back in the 4th. Conrad will bat with 2 out, nobody on, swung on. That ball's hit foul, slicing foul down the first base line. So 0-1 the count to Conrad. And the pitch will miss, and the count will even at 1-1. So 1-1 to Becca Conrad. If she can keep the inning alive, KK Wallace would hit next. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball hit to right field, but the right field over there to make the play to retire the side. A nice job by Barton. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of 6. Cabell Midland in front, 6-2. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
And after the inning for Cabell Midland, there was no runs, no hits, there was no...
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Chocolate Milk, the official beverage of high school sports, is brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast.
Farmers and Mechanics Insurance knows West Virginia, and we understand how much all of our high school teams and athletes mean to the communities that we have served for more than 100 years. That's why we're proud of our partnership with the West Virginia SSAC. Their commitment to teach and promote sportsmanship and citizenship is the key to future success. Protecting what matters most to you. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, a proud partner of the West Virginia SSAC.
And we welcome you back in to the Girls State Softball Tournament as we head here to the bottom half of the 6th inning in a 6-2 lead for Cabell Midland. And George Washington will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters up. It'll be Barton, Holly, and Tomlin due up here in the bottom half of inning number 6 for George Washington. Down 4 runs, GW is going to need some base runners. And the first pitch of this inning will miss the plate for ball 1. So 1-0 is the count to Barton. Barton, the George Washington right fielder, that made that final play that ended the top of the 6th inning. Here comes the 1-0 delivery, and that's swung on and missed. The count evens at 1-1. This is an elimination game. The winner will advance to the championship round and will have to beat John Marshall twice. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike to Barton. Watch ready, the 1-1 pitch trying to bunt her way on, and she'll foul it back, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1-2 the count to Barton, and the 1-2 offering swung on, fouled back. Again, the count will hold at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the home half of the 6th inning and a 4-run lead for Cabell Midland. George Washington running out of time, down to their final 6 outs. So if you're George Washington, you got to get base runners. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that'll miss, and the count will even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, that's a solid hit. Base hit to left field. That'll be the 4th hit of the ball game for George Washington. And more importantly, the base runner, as I talked about, that they need. They got the leadoff hitter aboard with a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. And Holly will now be the hitter. Passion Holly. 0 for 2 in the ball game.
Third baseman number 12, Passion Holly.
And the pitch. Swung on and fouled back, 0-1 the count. Wind starting to whip up just a little bit. Got a nice little breeze blowing from left field to right field. But it's been a very pleasant morning and not quite into the afternoon yet. There's a throw down to first. Runner's back in safely. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Holly. And the 1-1 pitch. Squares to bunt. Ball gets away from the catcher, and the runner will advance from first to second. So Barton able to scoot on down to second base. And now George Washington with a runner in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. George Washington down 4, so they need base runners. 2-1 the count to Passion Holly, the George Washington third baseman. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. She squares to bunt. That ball's inside. It'll go to 3-1. Tomlin waits to hit next. 3-1 the count to Passion Holly. And the 3-1 offering. Squares to bunt, and that's ball 4. So the first 2 batters of the George Washington 6th inning reach. A hit by Barton, and now a base on ball to Holly. And right now, George Washington, the runners at first and second, trying to make a rally as they're down 4 runs. And the number 4 hitter, the cleanup hitter, Nat Tomlin, will now be the hitter. Tomlin struck out in the second and hit into a double play back in the 4th, or hit by a pitch, rather. She squares, lays it down. That's going to be a hit. That's a beautiful play by Tomlin. She got the bunt down past the pitcher, and now they're loaded. So you got a hit, a walk, and another hit. And just like that, the tying run will come to the dish. So that'll be the 5th hit of the ball game for George Washington.
Thank you for keeping me correct.
Cabell Midland had the bases loaded back in the 1st inning and didn't score. Let's see what George Washington now. They have the bases loaded. Nobody out. Armstrong, the hitter. She made a sensational play in center field back in that top half of this inning on a fly ball that looked like it was going to be over her head. And the pitch, called strike 1, 0-1 to Armstrong. But here's a golden opportunity for George Washington to get back in the game if they have the tying run at the plate. Nobody out. The bases loaded here in the home half of the 6th inning. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate. The count goes to 0-2. So 0-2 the count to Addie Armstrong. Armstrong struck out in the 2nd and got a hit in the 4th. She's 1 for 2. But she's in the hole right now at 0-2 with the bases loaded, nobody out. Trying to help her rally her team. And the 0-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's a big out right there for Cabell Midland. So with 1 out and the bases remain loaded, Wade will now be the hitter.
The first baseman, number 13, Caroline Wade.
So Wade digs in the batter's box, left-hand side of the plate. The pitch swung on. This ball is skied into the air. And coming in, the center fielder makes the catch. The runner from third tags. They'll cut the throw off. The run will score. So that'll be a sacrifice fly for the 2nd out of the inning. And a run will score to cut into the lead. But I think if you're if you are Cabell Midland, you will trade an out to give up a run, as Wallace able to make the catch out there in the outfield. So that makes it 6-3 as a run crosses the plate for Cabell Midland. And it will be Thomas to the dish. She's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Struck out in the 3rd and in the 5th inning. So she still does represent the tying run. And swung on. This ball was popped up left field, actually driving deeper back, but the left fielder has a beat on it and gets back under it. Purdue to make the catch to end the inning. So 1 run for George Washington after 6. It's a 6-3 lead for Cabell Midland as we head to the 7th here on Video Productions.
At half the inning for George Washington, there was 1 run on 2 hits. There was no Cabell Midland errors. A score after 6 innings, Cabell Midland 6, George Washington 3.
Who we got leading off the inning? We got Wallace leading off the inning?
Yep, Wallace, Bell, and Tatum.
I'm rusty on doing this, but it's coming back to me. John, Brady, up here. Y'all working over here next game, or there, or where? Jerry.
And we're headed to the 7th inning, and Cabell Midland's lead has been cut from 4-3 as they lead now 6-3 as we start the top half of the 7th inning. Leading things off will be K.K. Wallace for Cabell Midland here in the top of the 7th inning.
Center fielder number 20, Caitlin Wallace.
And the pitch will be outside. Wallace made that catch in center field last inning. Ball won the count to her. She's had a single and a triple and grounded out and 2 for 3. Swung on. That ball's hit foul down the first baseline. Count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabell Midland got 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th for their 6 runs, while George Washington got 2 in the 3rd and then 1 in the bottom of the 6th for their 3 runs. 6-3 the lead for Cabell Midland here in the top of the 7th inning. And the pitch swung on. That ball was pulled foul way out in front of that one down the left field line and out of play. Count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. The winner of this game will advance to the title game and will have to beat John Marshall twice in this 4-team double elimination here in Class AAA, the 2023 Girls State High School Softball Tournament. Glad you're enjoying it, streaming live here on Video Productions. And the pitch, that will miss, and the count will even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the 2-2 offering to K.K. Wallace. And that will miss, and the count will go full to 3-2. So here comes the payoff pitch. On its way. Swung on. This ball is hit in the air. It's going to be a little floater, and it'll find its way to the outfield for a hit. The 11th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland. And that was one of these, hit it where they ain't. And a little bloop single, and Wallace leads off the 7th with that hit. That is her 3rd hit of the ball game, and Bell will now be the batter.
The first baseman, number 8, Olivia Bell.
So Bell will step to the dish. And the pitch. He squares the bunt, pulls back. The runner takes off for second, and they called her safe.
Where's Chapman playing at? He's getting ready to bat next.
So Wallace successfully steals second. And once again, Cabell Midland with a runner in scoring position. So Wallace at second, nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. Cabell Midland trying to add to their lead. Trying to get a little more insurance. And the pitch. And that'll miss for a ball.
Well, I'm going to put him on answers designated hitter.
So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Olivia Bell. And here comes the 1-1 offering. That swung on right back up the middle. Nice play by the George Washington shortstop to make the throw to get the out. And now they've got the runner, Wallace, hung up. They've got her leaning. They got her in a run down. And they're going to tag her right there for the out. And they get a double play on that. So Bell is out, ground out, and then they got Wallace that got too far off the base. And they get 2 outs. And now Tatum will now be the hitter.
Designated hitter number 22, Maggie Tatum.
So 2 out, nobody on, and it'll be Maggie Tatum at the dish. So it'll be ball 1 to Tatum. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. The ball is hit to Holly, the third baseman. Holly able to make the play and throw the ball across the diamond to get the out. Like I've said the entire 2 days watching Holly, you hit it to her, you're out. But that's the end of the middle inning of the middle of the 7th, rather. We go to the bottom of the 7th. And Cabell Midland 3 outs away as they lead George Washington 6-3 here on Video Productions.
Wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
And we're headed to the bottom half of the 7th inning. 3 outs away is Cabell Midland from advancing to the championship round. And George Washington will have their number 8 and 9 and 1 hitters due up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Sittler, the 8th hitter, Kelly, the 9th hitter, and then back to the top of the order with Adkins.
The batter for George Washington, catcher number 8. Ava Sittler.
So Sittler steps up, and the first pitch to her is a called strike, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery swung on. This ball was hit in the air into, well, looked like the wind. For a minute, looked like it was going to go into the outfield. And then looked like the wind kind of brought it right there back into the infield. But there's Conrad to make the play at shortstop for the first out of the 7th inning. So George Washington down to their final 2 outs. And Kelly will now be the hitter.
Shortstop number 3, Addie Kelly.
So Kelly will hit with one out, nobody on. And the pitch swung on and missed for strike one. So Cabell Midland 2 outs away from advancing to the title round, in which they would have to beat John Marshall twice. And the pitch is hit right there. The third baseman doing a great job. Had it played perfectly for the second out. Harris come right down the line to catch that little pop. 2 outs, and now down to their final out. With 2 down, nobody on, it'll be Atkins will now be the hitter for George Washington. So Cabell Midland looking to advance to the title round. And they're 1 out away from doing that. The pitch swung on. This ball's hit to the shortstop. This could do it. The throw across the diamond, and that's the ball game. Cabell Midland defeats George Washington 6-3, and Cabell Midland will advance to the state championship round, and they'll have to beat George Washington twice. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll recap quickly as you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions. I'll do a real quick,
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. 18,250 days of fueling and feeding. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. The managers who open early and close late. The cashiers who always have a smile. The bakers, sandwich artists, and cooks who keep our cravings at bay. The maintenance crew who work hard to fix problems as they arise. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston. I'm Maris Lowry as we put the final wraps of this game that's just gone final. And Cabell Midland has defeated George Washington by the score of 6-3. Cabell Midland got 4 in the second and 1 in the third. Took a 5-0 lead. George Washington got 2 in the third to make it 5-2. But Cabell Midland got a run in the fourth. And then George Washington able to get a run in the sixth. Final score 6-3. 6 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for the winning team, which was Cabell Midland. George Washington, 3 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. So what this will mean is now that Cabell Midland will now take on John Marshall, and that game will be at 2:15, and that will have to be, as far as Cabell Midland's concerned, they'll have to win twice. John Marshall just needs to win the first game to be the state champion. Cabell Midland will have to beat him twice. So far, our outstanding crew here at The Rock at Little Creek Park in South Charleston. For our executive producer and director of video productions, Butch Mounts, I'm Maris Lowry, repeating the final score, 6-3. Cabell Midland over George Washington. It'll be Cabell Midland against John Marshall, and we'll see you at approximately 2:15.